All right, the LA Chargers have just been completely robbed by the NFL. We're going to break it all down. If you're new to the channel, we're Detroit Lions fans, but this channel fully dedicated to the Chargers because we're Jim Harbaugh fans. So we started this channel kind of following you through last season, and here we go. We're keep going and excited for this off season. So I got good news and bad news. I'll start with the bad news and how the NFL robbed you, and I just hate it. So the Chargers opened the season in Brazil. So it's like, hey, the Chargers have been the team designated to be the home team. And this is I just can't stand this. And let me know in the comments. I could be missing this. But this like international stuff just drives me nuts because what happens is the Chargers and the fan base lose a home game. You're excited coming off of last year, big year ahead of you. Especially for a team that's just historically, trying to get the fans into the stadium and really bring it back, right? And you're moving from San Diego to LA, and the fans are like, all right, we're finally like a real team, and we've got a real coach, and we really want to make something happen, and we're all excited. And you know what? First game, it's going to be thousands of miles away, and you can't go. It's like, well, what are we doing? So remember last year, with the Packers and the Eagles, there was security concerns. There was, just think of like what it takes to take your whole operation down to another country 10 hours away with your equipment, your uniforms, all that stuff. And it's just like ultimately you rob the players, you rob the fans of the game day atmosphere that you've been waiting for. You lose a home game. And not only that, but like the first home game of the year. And so it's like, remember that even on TV? Like it looked dark. It just, something is off with it. It's like, why are we doing this? We don't need to be doing all this stuff. Let's have it. The LA Chargers play in Los Angeles. Let's play the games there. Like that's what makes it so cool. So this international stuff just drives me crazy. And I think it's a really bad look for the NFL. But hey, money. I get it. Money, money, money. So here we go. Speaking of that, there's two realistic teams that they could play, and they're both tough, but Washington Commanders and the Minnesota Vikings. Now, this makes for, again, great TV to watch these guys, or watch these opponents, but again, I don't like it at all. Now, let's change over some good news. The good news is that the salary cap, let me pull this up, and I think this is really important to see, is that the salary cap is going to go up to $280 million. And so remember that the Chargers have a lot of cap space, and I think they're top, what would we say, top 5 in cap space last time we looked. So Chargers have a ton of cap space, and this is excellent news for almost every team, but especially the ones who had planned to be very active in free agency this offseason. If the number rises, the more spending power teams possess and hoping to build the team that they've blah, blah, blah. Right. So the Chargers are one of those teams that I don't think they're going to be crazy in free agency, but it's just a little bit more room to do things that you want to do. And now here's what I really like is, again, you're not going to build your team around this, but it's just something to be thinking about, is that PFF put out an article talking about 15 players that are currently on teams that could get cut as we get into this offseason. They've got, they could be owed money and they could get cut. And just take a look at some of these names. You got Von Miller, again, aging guy. You're kind of in that aging defensive end thing where you're trying to get rid of Bosa, and Khalil Mack might be doing his thing. So it's like maybe some of these don't make sense, but I like looking at some of these defensive. Grady Jarrett. Nothing wrong with him. And again, if you've got all the cap space, he wants to go somewhere where he's going to win games. Again, there's something to, and I don't want to overdo this, but I think it's so important that you are in a great city that guys are like, I'll go there. For the last couple of years of my career, like that, why would you not? Right? It's cool. So yeah, you've got an advantage there with Grady Jarrett. Cam Jordan is another one that I love that. Christian Kirk, take it or leave it. Wide receiver. Alan Lazard, Noah Fant. So you can see, right? There's some guys, again, this is the good news is you've got cap space and you've got options outside of the normal free agents that we know about. We've already talked about that quite a bit. There's even more that could be available, could kind of round out your team. Okay, but here's what we're really excited about is when you look at the latest mock draft has the Chargers really going hard in the trenches, and this Armand Membu, whatever. Offensive tackle, offensive guard, dude. Pick 22 on this guy. And the more you watch like highlights of offensive linemen, like they're super, like their highlight reels are just like this. I mean, which they should be, right? If you're going to be picked in the first round in the NFL, you better be dominating offensive lineman. And this guy just is. And so he was at tackle, but put him at guard. It's really where you need somebody's interior offensive lineman. If he can play the interior offensive line, that's what I like. He's been at the SEC level. Like, that's what, man, this would be a great pickup. I love this guy. Okay. We could watch these all day. All right, another one that I think. All right, so here you are, pick 22. Round 2, Kyle Kennard, South Carolina. So this is a traditional edge rushing guy that he's just a stand-up rusher. Whoops, here we go. Just kind of comes darting in. I mean, he doesn't seem like he's just going to be like an edge-setting dude, though, which I don't know if Harbaugh likes that. Like, dudes that are a little bit bigger. He just kind of looks like a wide receiver out there just rushing in. I don't know. Day 2 guy. Defensive ends all look sweet to me. Every defensive end I've ever seen, I'm like, yep, he's awesome. And that's just not the case. That's just. So, all right, one more is a D tackle from Tennessee with round 3, pick 86. Okay. Again, you cannot go wrong in life if you draft offensive line and defensive line from the SEC. You just can't go wrong. Now you want to get some skill position players. That's really what the goal is for Justin Herbert this offseason. You just have to. But they will. In free agency, probably. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Again, make sure you subscribe if you haven't. If you're new to the channel, just subscribe. We're at 10,000 subs. Looking for 15,000 next. We'll see all of you on the next one.